Hey guys, it's Jamie from A Kid's Opinion, sorry. And last night I had the pleasure of seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, and wow. So I was a little bit nervous when I saw the trailers for this movie because obviously this is a spoiler review. Just want to say out front, I will be spoiling things. So watch the movie first, then watch this if you don't want anything to be spoiled for you. Saw the trailers, and obviously the appeal of like the multiverse and everybody coming back from the Raimi and the we're going by directors' names, and the Mark Webb Amazing Spider-Man movies. That would be really cool to like have all these villains come back. So obviously that appeal was amazing, but the trailer made it seem like the setup for how how all this came to be is a little bit dumb. So I watched the movie and it blew me away. Yeah, let's talk about it. So first off, let's start with the good, and I want to say like the plot. Well, the plot after the first act. We'll get to the first act in a little bit. At first, I wasn't too big on like the plot after the first act because kind of all the villains get locked away, and I'm like, okay, what's this gonna be? Are they gonna be like teaming up with him? So like all five of our main villains are now locked up. Like, what is going on here? And then I kind of realized, wait, gotta write something down. Sorry, so, and then I realized, like, just how amazing this plot was kind of crafted after this. With, like, how Peter's trying to cure them, and it shows, like, how good of a person Spider-Man is, that he's trying to do this thing to help all of them. And at first I was like, I'm not sure how I feel, but then when you finally get into, like, the real conflict of the movie, where they kind of escape and cause a bunch of havoc and craziness, like, just wow. And it kind of makes you appreciate that other part more, where they're all locked up. So I should probably rewatch that movie. Yeah, the plot was, I'm not sure, I couldn't have done better if I tried. The acting was really good. So Tom Holland, like, he's a fine actor. I haven't really seen him in, I don't think I've actually seen him in anything else, even though I know he's been in other stuff. But like, I thought he was a decent Spider-Man. Like, I thought he had good energy. I just didn't feel like he was the greatest actor. I feel like Andrew Garfield is the greatest actor of the three Spider-Men. In this movie, Tom Holland really stepped it up, though. Like, just wow. Like, I didn't know he could act that good. Like, there's a scene at the end where he's beating up Green Goblin, just laying in, and like his facial expressions. My gosh. And if you're gonna talk about acting, you need to talk about Willem Dafoe. Like, I'm not really into, like, not that I'm not into it, but I don't really know too much about, like, Oscar picks and best actors, and, like, I don't really know about that before it comes out. Usually it's guys that are kind of in these very prestige drama movies, so Willem Dafoe probably won't get nominated for anything, but my gosh, I think he should. His performance as Green Goblin is just, it's menacing at some times and just like terrifying because he's an evil person, and at other times it's just like he's this nice guy, this dad that wants to do good things, but then when he becomes a goblin, it's just at a whole new level of craziness. And then the acting in this movie is, wait, I already said that. Oh, I guess explain that. I gotta the action in this movie is very good. Like Marvel movies, blockbuster movies, they always have really good action, so it's not really like the Eternal Shang-Chi action, really. Like, I can compare the action scenes in this. Obviously, I like these more because it has, like, all these crazy Spider-Man villains and heroes, but, like, the action scenes in this, there's one scene that I'm not too big on, mainly because there's a subplot that I hate that I'll get to in a sec. But the action scenes in this, like, wow, the final battle, I'll get to that in a sec, but the action was very good. I enjoyed it a lot, and it was just a blast to watch. And the emotion, I did not expect this movie to be this emotional. The acting contributes to this. Just, like, the ending is very emotional when Peter has to make the sacrifice, Aunt May's death, which, whoa, like, I did not see that coming, but that was handled perfectly. And, like, just the emotion in this, like, people were crying in this. Like, I didn't really expect, I thought people were going to be crying because of, like, nostalgia. Because, like, all your villains are back. But no, people were crying because this is a sad movie. This is a serious movie after a certain point, and it is a very good movie because of that fact. Yeah. And then the ending, like when I say the ending, I don't necessarily mean the final battle. I mean Peter's decision and how it leaves you with him swinging through the city at the end. I actually like that. Like I like that a lot. Because even though he's kind of at a fresh start with, like, allies, doesn't really have any allies anymore. He doesn't really have any friends anymore, doesn't really have any family. He's grown as a character so much from Homecoming. So I feel like whatever, he's definitely going to come back in future stuff. Whenever he does come back, it's going to be just amazing. I can't wait to see what happens because of this ending, because of how they leave us with Peter Parker being this extremely changed character. The tension in this is also really good. Like, when he's, like I said, when he's just beating up Green Goblin at the end, like, that's really intense. And then Green Goblin ends up stabbing Tobey Maguire through the back, and, like, I thought he was gonna die. And then Andrew Garfield passed Tom Holland the cure to cure Green Goblin to make him normal, to make Norman Osborn normal again. I thought it was a knife. I thought he was gonna stab Green Goblin. That's because of this tension. Like, this tension is just rising, and I was thinking, like, is Andrew gonna snap? I know Tom Holland's Spider-Man is already almost there. The tension in this, like, there's one scene where, in particular, when I think about tension, it is after Doc Ock has been cured. They're in the apartment, just such an amazing scene when they're in the apartment, all 5 villains together, just wow. Very funny, some good banter in there, and all of a sudden, like, Peter's, like, spider sense starts, like, tingling a little bit, and you're like, what's gonna happen? Like, is this, like, another villain coming? Like, what's gonna happen right here? And then he realizes with the Green Goblin webs him, and then I think he gets, like, Willem Dafoe gives that creepy smile, and you're like, oh no, like, something bad is gonna happen, I can feel it. That was a good scene. The post-credit scenes in this, I wasn't too big on the Venom one, mainly because I feel like it looks like he got sent to Spider-Man universe, and then he got sent back to his universe immediately. I'm not too happy with that, but still, like, and then that is setting up. It's very cool to see, like, Venom in a Spider-Man movie, in a good Spider-Man movie, finally. Sorry, Amazing Spider-Man 3, but not too big on you. And the fact that we're probably going to get Venom in the MCU, and with this more serious Tom Holland tone, and a more serious Spider-Man, very excited for that. And the second post-credit scene, which is kind of a trailer, wow, that's going to be amazing for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I mean. And the visuals in this, the visuals I'm thinking of, my favorite scene in this entire movie, well, maybe second favorite scene, is when Doctor Strange is fighting Spider-Man in this, like, mirror dimension. Wow, like, I can't wait for Doctor Strange 2 because of seeing what these visuals look like. I can't believe they were able to pull that off and make it look that cool. Just blown away at that. And now the final battle. This is probably one of my favorite MCU final battles. The stakes are, like, the stakes aren't, like, super duper high. I mean, they're high, like, for personal stakes. Actually, no, the stakes are really high now that I think about it. Because it ends up being everybody in the multiverse comes that knows who Peter Parker is. Infinitely many people come. So, yeah, that's huge stakes. But when they're going around the Statue of Liberty, all 3 Spider-Men just come swinging down. Oh, that's amazing. Having Ned do his little magic stuff, that's hilarious. Having probably my top 5 moments of the movie, which there's a lot of good good moments in this movie is when Andrew Garfield comes down and he picks up MJ. And it almost looks like he's about to cry a little bit. It's because it's a great, emotionally satisfying moment, and it makes the Amazing Spider-Man movies better. They're still not that good. At least the second one isn't. But a very good scene, and I keep going back to the part where he's beating up Green Goblin on the Captain America shield. That was going to be added to the Statue of Liberty. But that was amazing. I don't know anybody that really couldn't have written that better. I was shocked at how good they were able to do that. And the reveals, even the Daredevil reveal was handled very well in this. I don't really have any past knowledge or past history with the character of Daredevil in terms of watching movies or TV shows with them in it, but it was still like cool to see. Oh yeah, Daredevil's gonna be in the MCU. Let's go. What was I gonna say? So yes, as I was saying, the reveals are really good. The reveals of Toby and Andrew were really good, and I like that they brought them MJ and Ned first, so he could talk to Peter later and give them. Sorry, I'm just gonna refer to the actors' names from now on to make it less, because all three of them are Peter Parker. Having Andrew and Toby give Tom Holland give him comfort was a really smart decision, because they have actually been through this. That was really good. I really liked how they handled the reveals. And when Green Goblin comes back, well, I kind of find funny, but also cool. When he comes back in that final battle, and he says, like, can the spider come out to play? It's almost like he's revealed again, because he's cheering. Like, it's almost like he wasn't in the movie before, because he's just as excited this time. And now, unfortunately, we have to go on to the mixed section. So the humor / Happy Hogan in this movie, Happy I thought was a walking joke in the first 40 minutes. Somewhat funny, but Happy's always been funny, but he's not a walking joke. I don't like that part. And the humor, I felt like they did a little bit too much with that, like especially the first 40 minutes, and I thought they really took away from like the setup. And yeah. And now Doctor Strange, I thought was acting a little bit too strange. Pun intended, but that was a terrible pun. In the first, like, 40 minutes. And I think they could have done that a little bit better. And now to the bad. Oh my gosh. So, I hated this part about the movie. These two things are kind of together. So the setup with how Peter Parker ends up coming to Doctor Strange / the MIT plotline. So the MIT plotline, Peter Parker and his friends want to get into MIT. Cool, good for them. They don't get in because he's Spider-Man. And he goes to Doctor Strange. Well, immediately. Not immediately, but if they would have shown more about them not really able to function in their lives without being yelled at and threatened because of the whole Mysterio thing, that would have been better. But everything was played as a joke, so therefore it's not like meaningful when he goes to ask Doctor Strange as a last resort. And the MIT thing is what pushed him there. And Doctor Strange even makes a comment that is played for laughs. I didn't laugh. I thought it was stupid. He says, "Oh, you didn't even call back and ask them to reconsider. You didn't even do that." It's like, this wasn't even your last resort. It's not like Peter Parker needed to change as a character, which he did end up doing that, but this setup didn't really set that up very much. It ended up being set up a little bit later in the movie, which I thought that was really good. It wasn't that he had this philosophical thing he needed to be solved. He just had, oopsie, he made a little mistake. That's really stupid. I did not like the MIT plotline. It almost ruined the fight with Doc Ock because they had to say that stupid Vice Chancellor character, and I found that to be more goofy. I did not like the MIT plotline at all. However, I would still give this movie a 9 out of 10. This would have been a 10 out of 10, my favorite movie of the year, even better than my current favorite movie of the year, The Suicide Squad, if that MIT plotline was just simply replaced with like a not quite philosophical thing, I shouldn't have said that, but with him not being able to like walk around, with all these things happening to Peter Parker, and literally his lives and the lives of his friends are literally being crumbled, and this is serious. Like MJ gets like beat up or something like that. Or I know that's a little bit much, but Like, this movie does get intense. So you can make the setup intense too while still including some humor. Say 9 out of 10. Really good movie. Probably in my top 10 of this year. Really, really impressed that they were able to pull this off besides that setup. So definitely go watch this movie. This was a really good movie. I'm going to be doing a lot of Spider-Man rankings coming up with characters and such. Great movie. Definitely recommend you go watch it. So please like and subscribe, comment in the comments section, give me suggestions on how to improve my channel. Please give me recommendations on movies and TV shows to watch, review, rank. I'm Jimmy from Kids Opinion, and be good people.